lot changing, as you saw yesterday in the governor's release of some modified stay-at-home, of his modified stay-at-home order. And so he has promised to get that to us as quickly as possible. We know, and superintendents have expressed to the commissioner that people are frustrated, and they want to know about these things from us, and that we are still planning, and you're going to hear some of that from principals this morning. But all of that could be modified by whatever we get from the state in terms of this end of the year guidance, which I'm hopeful will come early this coming week, but I don't have a commitment as to when we'll receive it. So I want to put that out there before our principals say anything, because it really does guide what they can communicate to you this morning. And I'm going to introduce each of them in a second. I have a couple of pieces, and we're going to vary off of our normal process this morning and go right to our principals after I give you a couple of quick announcements. So one that's really important to us is that this coming week, you are going to see us begin to work on what we're calling a return to school initiative, the return to school task force and working groups. We are putting together a process which we will begin to make public this coming week that deals with the various issues around coming back. And I'm going to read to you what I shared with our staff this morning. We're working on a process to return to school, including the creation of working groups to consider issues like instruction, operations, mental health for our students and staff, and technology, as well as the multitude of scenarios that we might encounter in September, including remote instruction, returning on time, the possibility of rolling closures, and the guidelines that might need to be put in place around personal protective equipment, social distancing. We can add to that list all day long, split sessions, all of those kinds of issues. We are hopeful to have something to discuss with our communities and our boards by early to mid-June. That's our goal. But that process, it is where a number of us are going to spend the majority of our time starting on Monday morning. And so I wanted you to know that, and we'll be talking about that regularly with you here. Tuesday, you should know, is Teacher Appreciation Day. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I can think of no better year or time than to celebrate what public school teachers do than right now. And I know the people who are with me here this morning absolutely agree with that, but these are people who are balancing their own implementation, if you will, of stay-at-home order for themselves with trying to teach your children. And that is a daunting task. And as I said to them in an email this morning, I applaud their efforts, and I believe that they are among the heroes in this country that should be celebrated and will be celebrated as we begin to move out of this very strange and very scary time. And so if you get an opportunity to say something to a public school teacher this week, please do. Please let them know how much they are appreciated. So with that, let me introduce who's with us, and I'm just going to go around the screen as I see you this morning. So first of all, Erin Milbury, the principal of Seabrook Middle School, is with us. Michelle Witt, the incoming principal of the Barnard School, is joining us. I said to Michelle and to Walter the other day, I can't think of a more difficult time to try to be doing a transition, but these two people are doing a great job in transitioning Michelle into her position, which she will begin on July 1st. And of course, Dr. Houston, Walter Houston from Barnard School is with us. Susan Snyder, the principal of the Northampton School, is with us. Stephanie Lafreniere, the principal of Seabrook Elementary. And we have Beth Rossi, the principal of the Lincoln Ackerman School, who is trying to get to us and hopefully will join us here this morning and be with us and talk about what's going on at Lincoln Ackerman. So this time, I think what I'm going to do, the other day at a principal meeting, we started south and worked our way north in terms of updates as to where we were. And there she is. There is Beth Rossi joining us. Hello, Beth. So why don't I do that and turn it over to Susan Snyder, the principal of Northampton, to talk to you about what's going on there. Let me just say before we go to that, we're going to use, again, the Q&A function. If you have particular questions after principals make some brief comments, I'll start through those comments and questions and direct them to the appropriate principal. And again, thank you to all of the principals. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Rossi, nice to see you. Glad we could get you in. Nice to see you here. So I'm going to start with Susan and then come to Lincoln Ackerman, go to Seabrook, and then finally, last but not least, the Barnard School. Okay, Susan.
Hi. Well, hi, everybody. I can't see who's here, but I'm glad to be here representing Northampton School. I'm glad that Dr. Lupini teed up the Teacher Appreciation Week. We've been trying to do a teacher car parade for the last week and a half, and the weather's not been cooperating. So our car parade through as many neighborhoods as we can get to in Northampton will take place on Tuesday. The weather looks good finally. We'll be leaving the school at 1 o'clock and going in staggered groups. So we have a 20+ mile route, that we are going to take all through Northampton. So we were really hoping that families will, just as Dr. Lupini said, celebrate our teachers and make some signs and make some noise as they go by, and really just celebrate the wonderful job they've been doing. And we also would want to thank all the parents who have turned into teachers, kind of teachers that they didn't sign up to be, because we really appreciate everything that all the parents are doing at home as teachers. So wanted to start off and say that thank you about that too. We have a number of things planned for the end of the year, or that we're working on for end of the year plans, not the least of which are the typical things that we need to do, like think about class lists and think about things like celebrating our 8th graders, think about the schedule for next year, even though we're really not sure if the schedules will need to be adapted due to COVID-related concerns. But those are all things that happen at the end of the year that we're working to do remotely at this time, and really starting up on those end of the year activities. We're hoping to celebrate our 8th graders in probably an alternate format, but we're working with our parent group to get signs, lawn signs for the 8th graders. We're working to put together a virtual celebration or graduation ceremony that might look a little bit different. We've been able to purchase the yearbooks for our 8th graders as a very small gesture in recognition of the fact that the end of their 8th grade isn't probably what they expected. Our yearbooks are printing as we speak, and we're still having our yearbooks coming out. So we're excited about that. Our art teacher, Marcia Zaves, was in the midst of directing our school play, The Little Mermaid. And so that was a bit of a disappointment, certainly for all of us, and especially for the students involved and the 8th graders involved. So Marcia's reaching out to the students in the play, and she's going to be putting together some sort of a video celebration of the play with the 8th graders singing their solos, and she has some footage that they had used for practice purposes as well that had already been posted on the NHS musical website. So we're hoping for an adjusted version of The Little Mermaid to come out in video format. That's exciting for us. We also will be having a slideshow of our 8th graders, and as I said, some sort of a version of a graduation that will likely be online with some musical submissions as well. Those are likely to be recorded. Our 8th graders and 7th graders are also working on a passion project, and our 8th graders will do their version of a TED Talk. So we have 2 8th grade teachers who are working hard with students to put those together. They're in the beginning stages of that, but Drew Zaliga and Elliot Pope, who are 2 of our 8th grade teachers, are working with 8th graders on that. And we're also hoping to get some fun t-shirts for our students. And last but not least, we have some retirees that certainly didn't plan to end their career from their house. They intended to be with the students, and I know that they're really disappointed about that. So we're looking into ways to honor our retirees and celebrate their work, and also at the same time hire new teachers remotely in this process. So we've been able to do interviews in this type of a format with Zoom and Google Meets. So we're just we're plugging along, and we're really, really working hard for ways to make the end of the year special, even in this format. So that's the news at Northampton.
That's great, Susan. Thank you so much. Beth Rossi.
Oh, actually, the information from Lincoln Ackerman is very similar, but I will say to parents that our parade a week ago was among the most rewarding days our staff has ever had. It was both moving, happy and sad. It was such an incredible delight to have so much teamwork, families, teachers. We had all but 2 staff members there. That's how much everyone misses you, and the other
Wow.
2 were for very personal reasons. I can't thank our police force enough, and Alexis Garant and Jillian Tanita for their involvement in it. Our Robbie Dursa and Ryan Vino made this whole process seamless. I really want to thank our police force for that. Continuing on with what's happening at Lincoln Ackerman, I had a very thoughtful meeting yesterday with our 8th grade team. We are trying to plan a fun, memorable experience in the absence of what would be our typical graduation. The tribute ceremony is well underway. Lawn signs are as well, and we don't quite have finalized what we'd like to do for graduation. We were hoping for some updated guidelines, and when we have those, we will we'll go from there. But we would like to make it very thoughtful, very meaningful, and the best it can be in this historic situation, and one that I don't think your kids will forget it anyway, but I think this is actually in a unique class and a unique year, and we want to make it as best we can. We're also doing some hiring online. We've had a resignation in an 8th grade position that is well underway for next week. We are working on also, Janice Cassidy is retiring after many, many years, and I'll never forget her sitting on March 13th as we were leaving school to say, I really don't want it to end this way. And I said to her, it's only going to be 2 weeks, Janice, it's okay. And little did I know. So we will plan something extraordinary for her to celebrate her extraordinary career. Also, we are, the day-to-day, what parents are doing is absolutely incredible. I know you're all going out applying for lots of teaching jobs as we speak, but you're doing an incredible job. And our staff is working hard every week. We know that this is a fluid situation. We think we've really hit a groove with it. Given that it was vacation week, and I know school vacations are timed perfectly for a break, and we didn't really quite have that break. So I think we're trying to find them in different ways. The 8th grade team is going to really plan some fun 8th grade activities the last week of what would traditionally be school, so that they at least can see the light at the end of the tunnel and know that some fun things are to come. Other than that, am I missing anything, Mr. Lupini?
That's excellent, Beth. Thank you.
Yeah,
Really
but I do want to say that we think of you, all of you, all the time. I am very thankful for those parents that reach out to us and let us know if they're struggling. Our parents that are on the front lines, thank you. People who are going to work and the kids are home to fend for themselves for school, God bless you. Reach out to us for help, because we have the support systems in place to do that for you. We miss you.
It's great. Thank you so much, Beth. Erin Milbury, principal of Seabrook Middle School.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Dr. Lupini. It's great to be here this morning. Similarly to the other 2 schools, we're doing a lot of the same things, and I think that's just because we're all doing as much as we can. We are working hard. The 8th grade team and administration is working hard to come up with a memorable experience for our 8th graders, knowing it won't be a traditional graduation format, but we're working on a car parade format where students and families can just stay in their car and swing around through the school, stop, maybe get out and take a picture. Staff members can be standing 6 feet apart, but to wave you on. And also we have gifts for you. The one thing 8th grade parents you do know is that we are purchasing your yearbooks this year. There will be some other surprises in there that I will not give away. Mr. Schweckheimer is working on the traditional 8th grade video. It's going to be amazing. And it is also his last one as he is also retiring. So it's going to be a special one for sure. And we'll make sure that we get that out in a way that everyone can see it. We also have the transition of 4th to 5th grade. So we're working with the elementary school.
We lost you.
Sorry, my computer does funky things with Zoom. It mutes me every once in a while. So working to make sure that 4th grade parents and students have opportunities to have a meeting, parents in a format similar to this, and students also having a meeting to see their new teachers for next year, and we'll continue to make sure that they have that experience. We also have 3 retirees retiring after a lot of years, 2 of them after 30 years. So we're working hard to find a great way to celebrate them and acknowledge them, and knowing that this has been tough for them too. And I just echo that our teachers are working hard.
You're muted again. Sorry.
Thank you.
Your computer decides when you're done for some reason.
It really does. I guess I'm done.
This is like the Gong Show, Erin.
I don't know what it is, and I don't have a tech person in my house to fix it for me. So we're missing being at school, and we're missing all of you terribly, and just really appreciate all the work that our staff and parents and everyone is doing. And just know that those who are moving on to high school, we're going to make that experience just as great as we can. And the 8th grade team is also recognizing the missed Washington, D.C. trip and working on some surprises coming up around that. Again, I won't give too much away, but there will be some virtual things happening coming up. So that's that from us.
Thank you, Erin. Can I go back to Susan and Beth for a second? And I just thought of this when Erin was talking about 4th graders coming into 5th grade. I know you've talked about looking at kindergarten numbers and looking at kindergarten kinds of transitions for families, and want to give you a chance to maybe mention a word about what you're doing or what you're thinking about there.
We actually had our kindergarten parent information night this week on a Zoom meeting, and had the opportunity to meet with some of the parents who've registered for kindergarten. So we will be planning the orientation probably closer to the beginning of school, or at the beginning of the school year, because at this point we typically would do, I misspoke, I mean screening. We typically do a kindergarten screening in June, which won't be possible. So we're working on plans for how we'll be able to conduct the screening, most likely in August, and ways we can welcome our kindergartners to the school, and just encourage anyone who maybe forgot to register because of all of this, that they can still do that. The information is on our website. Kelly Ford is our registrar, and she's working from home, and families can email her and email documents. And we're looking to get to know our new kindergartners next year, and for finding ways to really welcome the new families.
Great, thank you. Beth?
Amy Middleton will be our kindergarten teacher next year, and she and I have spoken on several occasions about how we'd like to go about it. We will do our screening and probably have a very thoughtful process in September to bring kindergartners into Lincoln Ackerman. We're really looking forward to that. As far as a parent evening, we probably won't do it until after June 4th. I know Amy is straight out between her own teaching and her own child at home. So that's been difficult, but we will put together a Zoom meeting for our incoming parents as well. And then we'll probably do a much larger view first. We did have something planned for an April 20th meeting. What were we thinking? And we'll do that. And then we'll probably have a parent meeting in person, if possible, close to the start of school.
Great, thank you.
That's where we're at.
Thanks very much. Sorry, Stephanie, I didn't mean to sort of interrupt the Seabrook flow there, but I wanted to make sure we got that kindergarten piece in as well. Stephanie Lafreniere, who's the principal of our Seabrook Elementary School.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in today, and to the SAU staff, thanks for having us here. And thanks to this whole group for their support throughout this, because we've done a lot of bouncing ideas off of each other and sharing ideas, and it's been a great collaboration and great leadership. So, and a huge kudos to my staff. When I think that we, on a Friday afternoon said, okay, you'll be coming in on Tuesday, grab what you can, and we're disseminating materials that afternoon, and people were amazing. Everybody pitched in and got everything out, and the students have been doing a great job. Parents are doing a great job. I've had a lot of funny comments from parents saying, geez, I used to think about subbing once in a while, but no thanks. I'm having struggles with the one. I can't imagine a class of 20, and a lot of praise for our teachers. And I reiterate what Bill's saying in terms of staff appreciation. Please take a moment to, send an email to staff next week. Think about the whole staff too, not just your student's homeroom teacher, but all those that impact your child. We are getting in the throes of transition and transition planning. So this week, we did send an email out to all of our families, and we've posted it various places, but we have our kindergarten orientation kind of forum information night on this Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And we have our preschool one on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And those flyers are posted right on our website. I know they've also gone up on the community Seabrook Facebook page, and we've sent them to daycares. But I encourage you to get that message out, because we have a lot of families obviously displaced. So usually we have kind of our typical daycare centers that we reach out to, and they don't have all those families connected. So please get people out so they're not getting anxious about that year. We'll have a similar process to what folks are saying. We usually had a screening in the spring, which just gave us a sense of a little bit more information on the students so we could be ready and prepared for them for their entry. We'll probably be doing that in the fall, but we'll do our best between now and then to gather as much information as we can and give as much information as we can to prepare students. We also, this Friday, are going to be having a parent forum just to reach out and provide some resources to families in terms of, all of a sudden navigating school at home. And we feel like, there's some people who have kind of gotten into a groove, and some people who could share some advice or need some advice. And so we'd like for people to join us. We'll be sending out a link to that this Sunday. For our 5th grade transition, as Mrs. Milbury said, our 4th graders, we usually have an informational night for them to transition to 5th grade, and we'll be doing something virtual for that. And one important thing is we're trying to look in planning for the fall. We're mindful that students just had to abruptly leave, really. And we want to see whatever we can to do some kind of reunification. And we're fortunate, everybody else is a K-8, but at least Erin and I have schools that are connected in one building. So we'll be able to do some gatherings or, reuniting. We'll see what the fall looks like, but our effort is to make those connections again and not just move forward, but maybe take a step back. Just want to make sure families know for 3rd and 4th grade, we had Chromebooks distributed to all the students. We do have some iPads that we've been trying to get to families through our pre-K and 2nd grade if they don't already have a device at home. We have very limited numbers, so we've really been trying to make sure that they're going to families that really need something, and that's been very helpful. So if you are in need, please feel free to reach out to me and we can try to connect you with that resource. I encourage you to make sure. A lot of people had paper packets of stuff at home, but it's really important to get online and connect. The social piece is so important for our kiddos. And sometimes people might think that's not really so important for kindergartners. I've got them running around the house and everything, but it really is. So I encourage you to link into morning meetings and things like that. We do have some retirees, and we will be trying to plan something, as everybody mentioned, for them. We have Robin Kazazar, our school counselor, that's been here for many years and knows everyone in town and their parent and their grandparent. She's a fixture in our school. And Anna Williams, our special ed director, who's been with us for a number of years and worked closely with many of our families. So we'll be looking to see what we can do there. And just please know that our staff is constantly trying to find a balance between support and not overwhelming. So, you know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, let us know. If you need support, let us know. And we're trying to strike that balance and just get through this together with everyone's support. But everyone has been amazing. So I can't thank everyone enough.
Thank you, Stephanie. Dr. Houston.
Well, first, let me just say thank you to our parents and our staff. They have done an incredible job. Like everyone else, our staff stepped up on March 17th, I believe it was, and quickly put things into place, and parents have been extremely supportive. So we would not have been able to do this without your support. So just want to reach out and say thank you for that. The other thing is, around me are 10 other people who have been incredible. And I think they need a shout out as well, because we have an incredible leadership team across the SAU. I have friends that work in other SAUs who do not have the leadership that we have. So I just want to shout out to them. I hope everyone appreciates the hard work that our leaders are doing. I never thought in all my career I would be running a school from my home study. I don't think any of us did. So a shout out to the principals and to the leadership team, because without you, we would not have been able to do what we did. So again, thank you. Like many of you, I'll first start off talking about our 8th graders and then talk about some other things that are happening. We are still in the planning stages of doing some sort of a parade. We have talked about either doing a parade at school where people drive by and see our graduates, or take our graduates on the road and have them drive around town. Last week we did our staff parade, and like Beth, it was a wonderful, meaningful experience. I think from a staff's point of view, we wanted to see the kids and we were excited. I think what really touched me was to see how excited the kids were to see us. And we weren't, I wasn't expecting the signs and the, you know, we love you, we miss you, we can't wait to see you again from the kids. It was one thing to do it from adults, but to see it from the children's point of view, it was wonderful. And I just want to again thank Eric Vickhill, who's our police officer in town. He was the one who led us through the streets. He made sure that we were able to do it safely. So again, thank you, Eric, for all your help. Eric is an incredible resource to our town, so I just want to say thank you for that. Like Stephanie, I just want to reach out. We have been passing out Chromebooks as we needed. You know, when we started this whole process, we said to parents, you know, does your child have access to a device? And people said, yeah, sure, they can use my phone, they can use my iPad. You know, for a week or two, it's not not a big deal. Now we're into week 7, it's turning into a big deal, and iPads are not working, or phones are not doing what they want us to do, or parents are trying to do their job, plus kids are trying to do homework. So we do have some Chromebooks available still. So if you do need one, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I know many of you have gone out to the staff, and the staff then have emailed me. And what people have done is, I live over in Newton, so people drive over and we do the swap in my driveway. So if you do need something, don't hesitate to reach out. Going back to the 8th graders, so we'll do some sort of a parade. That's kind of in the plan right now. We are calling it a grab bag. We're hoping to find out a better name for that. But in that, there will be a number of things that we will give to the kids. They always get their yearbook. We'll give them what we call the Barnard B. It's a varsity letter. Kind of reminding them that once you're a member of the Barnard team, you're always a part of the Barnard team. So they'll get that, and then a number of other surprises that I don't want to give too much out to. We're also in the process of doing a special DC project. Again, I don't want to tell too much because it's a surprise, but the teachers are in the process of putting together something because DC did not happen this year. We want to acknowledge that and to do something fun. So I just want to say that we are in the process of also saying goodbye. We don't have anybody retiring, but we do have one staff member who will be leaving to go and pursue a bigger job. Our current guidance counselor, Miss Danny Rooney, works 2 days at our school and works 3 days at another school, and the other school is open to be a full-time position. And so she has taken that, and we are excited for her for this new chapter in her life, but we're very sad to see her go. Miss Rooney is incredible and has been a huge resource to our school. So we'll be in the process of working together to post that job, and then Miss Witt will be taking on over after July of doing the hiring of that. We're still in the process of talking about what the last 5 weeks of school will be looking like for the students, and what special activities we want to do for the K-7 students, because they need to have a fun end of the year for them as well. When it comes to the kindergarten students, I know that has been brought up. We were fortunate that we were able to do most of our screening just before we left. We were very fortunate that we were able to do our child find stuff in March. We had a few students that were supposed to come back in April. We'll need to reschedule them, and we'll probably need to do that come September. When it comes to we usually have a day where the incoming kindergartners get to spend with us. We'll need to find another time to do that. And it's not the same thing to do it virtually, but we may have to do something like that. We're still in the talks about what that's going to look like. But that's what's happening right now at Barnet over in Southampton.
Great. Thank you, Walter. Do you notice how much Walter and Aaron really want to tell people what's going on with this DC thing? Did you see that? They kept hinting right to the edge and then say, oh, I don't want to give it away. It is a great surprise. I have heard some details, and there's a wonderful set of ideas. And Michelle, can I just welcome you to this group? Michelle began meeting with us with principals this week. You know, nothing out of the ordinary about this transition to a principalship, Michelle. So, you know, just normal run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. Welcome.
It's working great. I'm working closely with Walter, and I'm appreciative of the SAU team who's been very supportive, and I'm really excited, and we'll make the most of it.
And Michelle has, just so you know, she started an entry plan process and has been talking with school board members and with Dr. Houston. And we're trying to set up a process where she can soon start talking with teachers so that her transition to the school is smooth, and bringing her into principal meetings and things like this is part of that. And we're really looking forward to working with you and having you at Barnard School. So thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
So we'll, unless anybody has anything they want to add, I'm going to go to questions. So if people want to pose questions either relative to what principals have laid out there or anything you know, else, let me just say one more time, because some people may not have been with us at the beginning. The principals are doing a really incredible job, given that we don't have that guidance. You've heard a number of them say, well, we're planning this, but we need that guidance. And so every day, one or more of them, I'm looking at you, Beth, asks me, where is that guidance? And we don't have it. And so they're doing incredible work trying to put together end of the year celebrations and those kinds of things without that guidance. And we're hopeful that we're going to have that in the next few days, and that we can really take those plans and run with them after we actually have that documentation that says what are the parameters that we're sort of working within. And the other thing I want to say is I said a word about teachers. And that is just to remind everyone that yesterday was National Principal Day. And so I just want to say again, and I think you got a good smattering of it this morning, what a really, really great group of people we have here who are leading your schools. And it's a pleasure. I think I speak for the senior staff. I know I speak for the senior staff when I say that it's a pleasure to work with these people. You heard the quality of thought and effort that's going into this very difficult time in terms of working with teachers. And that was just a smattering of what I know these people are working on every day. And I think these communities are very lucky to have these people in these positions. And so I want to thank all of you for your work and for being here with us this morning. And so let's see if we have any questions, okay? And if you have questions, please, again, put them into the Q&A function. And if you don't, we'll just talk amongst ourselves. So please ask questions.
I actually want to take the opportunity to make one note. And I just want to thank the community. There's just been an incredible outpouring of support for our food service program and our students. You know, as many of you know, about a week ago, we started a fundraising GoFundMe campaign to supplement the the free food service program for all of our students. So this is a program that's eligible for any family in the SAU. They can pick up meals at Winnicott or at Seabrook schools on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're providing breakfast and lunch, 2 days worth on each of those days. It's really a very important program for our students, you know, as part of the learning process. I mean, we want our students to be, to be not to be hungry, to be food secure. It's just incredibly important. And oh my gosh, we just received an amazing response from the community. We've raised over $9,000. This past Tuesday, the joint board did approve continuation of this free program through the summer. So that is official. And we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of the community. So thank you so much. I will note that, I don't know everyone on the list, but I noted, a real large number of our SAU 21 teachers and staff who donated. And that's just really a great feeling. So thank you to everyone who's donated. And if anyone does want to donate, it is up on the SAU website as well as our individual school websites on the homepage. So just thank you. We appreciate it, and it's really an important service for our students.
Thanks, Matt, for doing that. One thing on that, just to emphasize a point Matt made. So we don't have direction yet on the summer and on the reimbursability of those meals. But this past week, our joint board made a commitment that we are going to provide meals in the form that we're in right now through the summer, despite that information. And that's costly if the reimbursement isn't structured in the right way. And our 23 members of our joint board said, this is too important. We're going to figure out a way to do it. And they voted to support that effort. And they deserve a lot of credit for that. And so that program in one way or another is going to continue. We certainly hope with reimbursement, and we have some inclination that may happen. It's certainly going to happen at least through June 30th, but we're going to continue that program during the summer no matter what. So thank you, Matt, and Caroline, who's coordinated that program with our food service directors and social workers and all. Thank you so much. So let me go to questions. And the first question is, are the principals working on a plan to make it possible for teachers to return to their classrooms for end of the year packing up? Yeah, I guess I would add to that students as well, right? And I'll sort of give a general response to the answer is yes, but again, we're waiting for some guidance. We're waiting for lots of guidance. There's a guidance document that's due from the state on those issues, addressing those issues sort of end of the year, not just celebrations, but those issues as well. What we know right now, and again, if anybody wants to jump in here after I'm done with this part of the answer, please do. What we know right now is we're going to have to figure out a way for students to access materials that they left on March 13th, right? Many of them left school not knowing they weren't coming back on Monday. And so they left things. We've had some small minor opportunities for people to come in, but we need to figure that out. And we also need to figure out what that looks like for teachers. And so the general answer is yes, it's on our radar. We don't have a plan yet. Anybody want to add to that in any way?
I'll just jump in really quickly. One of the things where we need to start looking at is a way for students to drop off devices if they need to. And of course, this is all dependent on what summer session looks like. So we're kind of in a circular loop here, but that's something we're also planning as well.
Great, thank you. Coming into the last month of the regular school year, approximately when can parents expect instructions for summer sessions? So we haven't talked about that at all this morning. If planning is not solidified by end of year, well, that's not going to be the case. But so right, we're I think I said on the call last week, maybe the week before as well, that this is one area where we're not expecting guidance till the middle of May. And I have heard Dr. Arkelian say on our Monday, Wednesday, Friday senior staff meetings that that's too late. And so we are proceeding. Caroline, do you want to say a word about summer planning and where we are now and when parents will hear more and all those kinds of things?
Sure, thank you. Yes, so we are proceeding as if summer sessions are remote learning. Because what we know is that, much like the couple announcements that were provided by Governor Sununu yesterday. A couple restrictions have been relaxed. However, all of the CDC regulations and requirements remain in place. So, that can include wearing masks and social distancing and being healthy to participate in person. And so what we know is many of our students who participate in summer programming, those students who receive specialized instruction and special education, and other students as well, we anticipate that there will be many challenges if we attempted to bring very small cohorts of kids together. So what we plan to do is within the next week or so to have a survey for families to let us know what kind of participation level would work for you if summer school or ESY is something that you've historically attended, because we want to make sure we can meet families where they're at while also remaining safe. So following all those safety guidelines. But for now, the special education directors and principals, we are planning summer sessions to be remote learning.
Great, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
survey probably in the next week or so.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Yes, Maria's reminding us that we talked about summer, that meals are available now. And again, you do not have to qualify for free and reduced lunch to take advantage of our meals. There are meal pickups at Winnicott High School and at Seabrook Elementary. Is that the elementary school? And there's also a bus loop for accessing meals. So please, 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 if in any way these meals, these breakfast and lunch program that's delivered on 3 days a week, but covers the 7 days a week. If that would benefit you in any way, please take advantage of it.
And the
So
bus route, I can add to that, the bus routes are posted on our websites. So it's not exactly the same bus routes that happen during the school year. You don't need to sign up for it. As Dr. Lupini said, you don't need to qualify. Anyone can get it. We want as much participation as possible because we know how it's difficult to be teaching your kids and feeding your kids and making all the food and cleaning the house. And so you can go to Seabrook or Winnicott at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you can find one of those bus routes and wait at a stop a few minutes before that stop. And there's plenty of food on the buses during those delivery routes. So standing in a socially distanced fashion, and you will get meals for your family. You just say how many kids you have, and that's how much food they'll give you. You can even pick up for your neighbor. Thanks.
So Caroline, there's another question about meals. Can teachers volunteer to help with food distribution?
I don't see why not. Although what I can say, I'm not going to say no to volunteers from our wonderful staff. But what I will say is that our sign-up sheet, we have a sign-up sheet. We have 2 staff per bus, and I'm telling you, whenever I add weeks on, it fills up within an hour. So I feel very lucky and grateful. Our staff they love the work. They love to see families, even from afar, to hand out food. So.
And Caroline, the people who've been largely doing that are our EAs and
so our paraprofessionals, EAs are all on the buses, and we also have social workers who have been coordinating so much of this. We take calls from the SAU voicemail, and the social workers give people calls back with questions about food, questions about no-cost Wi-Fi options, because we have a long list of no-cost Wi-Fi options posted on our websites. These are people who are there 3 days a week, along with our nutrition staff, who just continue to work and provide this wonderful service for families.
Great, thank you. And somebody's asking, where are those sign-up lists again? How does that sign-up list work?
The sign up list works every time there's an extra week of remote learning announced. I've been sending it out to paraprofessionals, our educational associates, and then it fills up. So I haven't had to expand it to other groups. But certainly feel free to email me if you are a teacher or an EA who would like to help out. We'll find something. So send me an email.
So I'll also note that we have received a few, that same question from parents. We are fully staffed. I mean, we have the adequate supply of EAs that are fulfilling those roles. So what I've been doing is I have been forwarding anyone that has offered to volunteer their contact information to our food service managers. And if we do, so currently we're well staffed, but if we do have a need going forward, because this is going to be a long process through the entire summer, then those food service managers will have those contacts for volunteering, as we go forward.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions? I'll give it a moment or so to see if there are any other questions that people want to pose of this terrific group. We were a little worried about this. It's the first time we've had this many people on our call, but our principals have made it seamless. Anyone else? So Beth, what I didn't get a chance to show you because you were we didn't get you in right away, is at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm supposed to be at Fenway Park. Those are no good.
Wow.
So I'm going to spend the rest of this beautiful day in mourning.
I'm sorry. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, me too. We'll get there, right? There'll be baseball again. There's a nice comment.
If it makes you feel better, Bill, maybe you could watch an old World Series game that we won.
I think that's what I'm going to do, yes.
Okay.
There's a nice comment here thanking all of you for your dedication to the community. And I want to echo that. Thank you for all the great work that you're doing and that your teachers are doing and that your EAs are doing, and everyone really associated with SAU 21 is just doing amazing work. And I, for one, consider myself fortunate to work with all these people. So thank you for joining us. Go enjoy your beautiful Saturday, please. And we will see you back here next week with Mr. McGowan to talk about, hopefully, more detail about high school graduation, because we're going to have those guidelines on end of the year by then. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.